Moving on to number 19, and we have the role-playing shooter free roam game Borderlands. Now there's two things about Borderlands that really stood out to me. It was the range of feelings it gave off, and the range of, let's say, genres it had, in a sense, and the DLC. Now the genre part was that it was a very silly game. Like, it was incredibly silly, but it could also be serious, it could also be, I'd say, sad, it could also be fun, it could also be sort of, it was an action, comedy, free roam, RPG. It had all these sort of elements to it, combined into one giant game, and then with the DLC, that just added to that, because they had, you know, Dr. Ned, it was like Ned's Zombie Island. That was quite a humorous horror sort of game DLC. Then you had Claptrap's Army. When Claptrap took over, that was pretty silly. That was like incredibly silly. And then you had all these sort of DLCs that gave that sort of like they sort of increased the genre, the little genres that they placed into the full Borderlands game, and just made them into one entire DLC. And I think that was the main feature of Borderlands, is that it had all this different aspects of it. And I mean, not to mention it had like a gazillion guns, you know, different guns that could do anything, ranging from a little pistol that would pop a guy's head off with one shot to, you know, one grenade that would spout off into about another 20 grenades, blowing everything up in its sight. And the free roam aspect was another big thing, because I'm a big free roam guy. I like roaming about in a world, as you'll see from things coming on the rest of the list. But the one thing about Borderlands and its free roam was that the places varied a lot. Like, you'd go to one place and it'd be snowing, and then you go to the next and it'd just be a barren wasteland of like death and decay. And they had a very stark contrast on the worlds they picked for where you were going. You'd have like robotic areas, you'd have areas solely, you know, filled with bandits and these crazy guys. The next part would be filled with all these weird beasts that live in the snow, and the next would be filled with these insects and stuff. And then you'd have your caves, you'd have your facilities, you'd have your mountains. It was just filled with all these wonderful locations, and that's what really stood out to me in this game, along with the different genres and the different feel it gave, and all the DLC was just, it was a big game in a sense. It was a huge game, and I really was able to put my time into it, which was a good thing as well, because what a good thing about games is that you get for what you pay for, and if you pay 40 quid for about over 100 hours of fun, then, you know, I'm going to pay that. And the multiplayer was another big aspect of it, because it has 4-player co-op and 2-player split screen, if I can get my words out. And I think I played with 4 players, and that was fun. It was fun, you know, seeing all the different guns everyone had. You'd swap them about, trade your weapons, and you'd just go around killing all these just monsters and everything as like a group. The only criticism I have of that multiplayer, though, is that if you went into someone's game and they like pretty much completed the game, you could go to one of the highest levels of the game and just let one of the level 50 people go run through it, kill everything, and you get about tons of XP. And so you could be like a level 2 guy just starting the game, and your friend could go, "Hey, jump in my game, I'm level 50." And him just killing one thing would send you up about, you know, 10 levels. So that was kind of a little problem there, but it wasn't as bad as I make it out to be. But apart from that, along with the characters, some of the characters were funny as hell. You know, Dr. Ned or Zed. Oh no, it was Dr. Zed's Zombie Island, and Dr. Ned is the guy who's normal. And then you've got Claptrap. Claptrap was my favourite. Just this funny little robot doing all these silly little things. He was basically having your own little R2-D2 with you that could speak. And then you had, you know, Marcus the gunsmith, and you had, you know, You had the what was it? The angel, was it? The angel, the person that watched you and sometimes would appear in the corner of your screen and tell you about stuff. It was one of those, and that actor was great. It was like very chilling and very awesome just to hear them pop up and speak about all these different things. And overall, it was just a very satisfying game, you know, in terms of length and what you could do, and that's why I've placed it at number 19.